Joseph Murphy. Sleep your way to riches. Your thought is your prayer. When your conscious mind deliberately accepts a creative idea or plan and turns it over to the subconscious with confidence, the intelligence of your subconscious brings it to pass in your experience. Your subconscious mind acts as a law and produces with mathematical exactitude the equivalent of your idea in your experience. Do everything from the standpoint of the one God and His love. You spend about 8 out of every 24 hours or 1/3 of your entire life in sleep. This is an inexorable law of life. This also applies to the animal and vegetable kingdoms. Sleep is a divine law, and many answers to our problems come to us when we are sound asleep upon the bed. Many people have advocated the theory that you get tired during the day, that you go to sleep to rest the body, and that a reparative process takes place while you sleep. Nothing rests in sleep. Your heart, lungs, and all your vital organs function while you are asleep. If you eat prior to sleep, the food is digested and assimilated. Also, your skin secretes perspiration, and your nails and hair continue to grow. Your subconscious mind never rests or sleeps. It is always active, controlling all your vital forces. The healing process takes place more rapidly while you are asleep, as there is no interference from your conscious mind. Remarkable answers are given to you while you are asleep. Why we sleep. Dr. John Bigelow, a famous research authority on sleep, demonstrated that at night while asleep, you receive impressions showing that the nerves of the eyes, ears, nose, and taste buds are active during sleep, and also that the nerves of your brain are quite active. He says that the main reason we sleep is because the nobler part of the soul is united by abstraction to our higher nature and becomes a participant in the wisdom and foreknowledge of the gods. Dr. Bigelow states also, the results of my studies have not only strengthened my convictions that the supposed exemption from customary toils and activities was not the final purpose of sleep, but have also made clearer to my mind the conviction that no part of a man's life deserves to be considered more indispensable to its symmetrical and perfect spiritual development than the while he is separated from the phenomenal world in sleep. Prayer, a form of sleep. Your conscious mind gets involved with vexations, strife, and contentions of the day, and it is very necessary to withdraw periodically from sense evidence and the objective world and communicate silently with the inner wisdom of your subconscious mind. By claiming guidance, strength, and greater intelligence in all phases of your life, you will be enabled to overcome all difficulties and solve your daily problems. This regular withdrawal from sense evidence and the noise and confusion of everyday living is also a form of sleep. That is, you become asleep to the world of the senses and alive to the wisdom and power of your subconscious mind. Startling effects of sleep deprivation. Lack of sleep can cause you to become irritable, moody, and depressed. Dr. George Stevenson of the National Association for Mental Health says, I believe it can safely be said that all human beings need a minimum of 6 hours sleep to be healthy. Most people need more. Those who think they can get along on less is fooling themselves. Medical research scholars, investigating sleep processes and deprivation of sleep, point out that severe insomnia has preceded psychotic breakdown in some instances. Remember, you are spiritually recharged during sleep, and adequate sleep is essential to produce joy and vitality in life. I will illustrate how the wisdom of your subconscious mind can instruct you and protect you relative to your request for right action as you go to sleep. Many years ago, before the Second World War, I was offered a very lucrative assignment in the Orient, and I prayed for guidance and the right decision as follows. Infinite intelligence within me knows all things, and the right decision is revealed to me in divine order. I will recognize the answer when it comes. I repeated this simple prayer over and over again as a lullaby prior to sleep, and in a dream came the vivid realization of things to come 3 years hence. An old friend appeared in the dream and said, "Read these headlines, do not go." The headlines of the newspaper which appeared in the dream related to war and the attack on Pearl Harbor. Occasionally, the writer dreams literally. The aforementioned dream was undoubtedly a dramatization of the subconscious mind, which projected a person whom I trusted and respected. To some, a warning may come in the form of a mother who appears in a dream. She tells the person not to go here or there, and the reason for the warning. Your subconscious mind is all-wise. It knows all things. Oftentimes, it will speak to you only in a voice that your conscious mind will immediately accept as true. Sometimes your subconscious mind will immediately accept as true. Sometimes your subconscious will warn you in a voice which sounds like that of your mother, or some loved one, which may cause you to stop on the street. And you find, if you had gone another foot, a falling object from a window might have struck you on the head. My subconscious mind is one with the universal subconscious, and it knew the Japanese were planning a war, and it also knew when the war would start. Dr. Ryan, director of the Department of Psychology at Duke University, has gathered together a vast amount of evidence showing that a great number of people all over the world see events before they happen, and in many instances are, therefore, able to avoid the tragic event which was foreseen vividly in a dream. The dream which I had showed clearly the headlines in the New York Times about 3 years prior to the tragedy of Pearl Harbor. In consequence of this dream, I immediately cancelled the trip, as I felt a subconscious compulsion to do so. 3 years later, the Second World War proved the truth of the inner voice of intuition. Your future is in your subconscious mind. Remember that the future, the result of your habitual thinking, is already in your mind, except when you change it through prayer. The future of a country, likewise, is in the collective subconscious of the people of that nation. There is nothing strange in the dream I had wherein I saw the headlines of the New York newspapers long before the war began. The war had already taken place in mind, and all the plans of attack were already engraved on that great recording instrument, the subconscious mind or collective unconscious of the universal mind. Tomorrow's events are in your subconscious mind, so are next week's and next month's, and a highly psychic or clairvoyant person may see them. No disaster or tragedy can happen to you if you decide to pray. Nothing is predetermined or foreordained. Your mental attitude, that is, the way you think, feel, and believe, determines your destiny. You can, through scientific prayer, which is explained in a previous chapter, mold, fashion, and created your own future. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. A catnap nets him $15,000. One of my students mailed me a newspaper clipping 3 or 4 years ago about a man called Ray Hammerstrom, a roller at the steelworks in Pittsburgh operated by Jones and Laughlin Steel Corporation. He received $15,000 for his dream. According to the article, the engineers could not fix a faulty switch in a newly installed bar mill which controlled the delivery of straight bars to the cooling beds. The engineers worked on the switch about 11 or 12 times to no avail. Hammerstrom thought a lot about the problem and tried to figure out a new design, which might work. Nothing worked. One afternoon, he lay down for a nap, and prior to sleep, he began to think about the answer to the switch problem. He had a dream in which a perfect design for the switch was portrayed. When he awoke, he sketched his new design according to the outline of his dream. This visionary catnap won Hammerstrom a check for $15,000, the largest award the firm ever gave an employee for a new idea. How a famous professor solved his problem in sleep. Dr. Hav Helprecht, professor of Assyrian at the University of Pennsylvania, wrote as follows. One Saturday evening, I had been wearying myself in the vain attempt to decipher 2 small fragments of agate which were supposed to belong to the finger rings of some Babylonians. About midnight, weary and exhausted, I went to bed and dreamed the following remarkable dream. A tall, thin priest of Nippur, about 40 years of age, led me to the treasure chamber of the temple. A small, low-ceilinged room without windows, while scraps of agate and lapis lazuli lay scattered on the floor. Here he addressed me as follows. The 2 fragments which you have published separately on pages 22 and 26 belong together, are not finger rings. The first 2 rings served as earrings for the statue of the god. The 2 fragments you have are the portions of them. If you will put them together, you will have confirmation of my words. I awoke at once. I examined the fragments, and to my astonishment found the dream verified. The problem was then at last solved. This demonstrates clearly the creative manifestation of his subconscious mind, which knew the answer to all his problems. How the subconscious worked for a famous writer while he slept. Robert Louis Stevenson, in one of his books, Across the Plains, devotes a whole chapter to dreams. He was a vivid dreamer and had the persistent habit of giving specific instructions to his subconscious every night prior to sleep. He would request his subconscious to evoke stories for him while he slept. For example, if Stevenson's funds were at low ebb, his command to his subconscious would be something like this: "Give me a good thrilling novel, which will be marketable and profitable." His subconscious responded magnificently. Stevenson says, "These little brownies, the intelligences and powers of his subconscious, can tell me a story piece by piece, like a serial, and keep me, its supposed creator, all the while in total ignorance of where they aim." And he added, "That part of my work which is done when I am up and about, while he is consciously aware and awake, is by no means necessarily mine, since all goes to show that the brownies have a hand in it even then." Sleep in peace and wake in joy. To those who suffer from insomnia, you will find the following prayer very effective. Repeat it slowly, quietly, and lovingly prior to sleep. My toes are relaxed, my ankles are relaxed, my abdominal muscles are relaxed, my heart and lungs are relaxed, my hands and arms are relaxed, my neck is relaxed, my brain is relaxed, my face is relaxed, my eyes are relaxed, my whole mind and body are relaxed. I fully and freely forgive everyone, and I sincerely wish for them harmony, health, peace, and all the blessings of life. I am at peace, I am poised, serene, and calm. I rest in security and in peace. A great stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being as I realize the divine presence within me. I know that the realization of life and love heals me. I wrap myself in the mantle of love and fall asleep filled with goodwill for all. Throughout the night, peace remains with me, and in the morning I shall be filled with life and love. A circle of love is drawn around me. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I sleep in peace, I wake in joy, and in him I live, move, and have my being. In sleep, your conscious mind is creatively joined to your subconscious mind. Many good people think that sleep is intended only for rest of the body, but nothing rests while you are asleep, as your subconscious and all the vital processes of your body, though slowed down considerably, continue to function. A restorative process sets in during sleep, resulting in a feeling of well-being due to the fact that there is a restoration of physical energy. Another reason we go to sleep is to develop spiritually. Therefore, it is of paramount importance that we avoid all discordant states prior to sleep. The divinity that shapes our ends is all-wise and has so arranged it that man is compelled to withdraw from the world of noise, which is not conducive to spiritual unfoldment. From now on, you always go to sleep feeling that you now are what you long to be. Your last concept as you fall asleep is etched on your deeper mind. You shall resurrect it. Always take into the banquet house of your lover a noble, Christ-like concept of yourself. Your lover will always give you what you conceive and believe as true. Anything you can conceive, your lover can give conception. Love gives birth to all things. Your tomorrows are determined by your concept of yourself as you fall asleep in the arms of your love, your ideal. The time of the singing of birds is at hand for you when you cease singing that old song of lack. You have listened to people sing this kind of song. It is like an old gramophone record. I'm so lonesome. Things never went right for me. I never had a chance. I have been cruelly treated. I have been operated on 3 times. You should hear about all the money I lost. Yes, then they tell about the fear on the lonely road, plus their likes, dislikes, pet peeves, and hates. Imbued with God's love, you will no longer sing that song again. You will sing the new song, for God's ideas and truths, birds, will sing in you. Then you will speak in a new tongue, which means the mood of peace, joy, goodwill, and love. You will no longer react to people and conditions like you did. The song of God is now heard. Now when someone says something mean or nasty to you, you will immediately transform it by realizing God's peace fills your soul. You will consume it with the fire of right thoughts. The birds will truly sing in your mind and heart as you do. You are happy, you are bubbling over with enthusiasm, and you are looking forward with a joyous expectancy to all good things. Wherever you go, you carry peace with you. All those who come within your orbit are blessed by your inner radiance. You begin to see sermons in stones, tongues in trees, songs in running brooks, and God in everything. The voice of the turtle is now heard in your land. Tennyson said, "Speak to him thou, for he hears. Spirit with spirit shall meet. Closer is he than breathing, and nearer than hands and feet." The voice of the turtle dove is the voice of peace, the voice of intuition, and of God's inner guidance. You can hear it by slowly listening. You breathe air without effort. Likewise, you should learn to let the intelligence within your subconscious mind flow through your intellect without tension. Your subjective mind perceives by intuition. It does not have to reason or inquire, as it is an all-wise and an infinite intelligence. If you say to your subconscious, sometimes referred to as the subjective mind, it is subject to the conscious mind, "Wake me up at 6 o'clock," you know that you will awaken exactly at the time specified. It never fails. We must realize that herein lays a source of power, which is omnipotent. Many good people have erroneous ideas about the gift of intuition. Many believe that it is an extraordinary event to be experienced only by highly spiritual people. This is not true. Any businessman or housewife can receive an answer by turning to the infinite intelligence of the subconscious mind, and guidance may be received for any problem. For instance, one time as a boy I was lost in the woods. I sat down under a tree and remembered a prayer which starts with, "Our Father, He will show us the way. Let us be quiet and He will lead us." I quietly repeated, "Father, lead us." A wave of peace came over me, which I can still recall. The voice of the turtle dove became real. The turtle dove is intuition, which means being taught from within. An overpowering feeling came over me to go in a certain direction, as if I were being pushed ahead. 2 of the boys came with me, the others did not. We were led out of that thick jungle as if by an unseen hand. Great musicians have listened and heard the music within. They wrote down what they heard inwardly. In meditation, Lincoln listened to the principle of liberty. Beethoven heard the principle of harmony. If you are intensely interested in the principle of mathematics, you love it. As you love it, it will reveal all its secrets to you. Jesus heard the voice of the turtle dove when he said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." How wonderful you will feel as you drink in these words and fill your mind with their therapeutic potency. Job heard the voice of the turtle when he said, "Acquaint now you with him and be at peace. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." You can hear the voice of the turtle by turning to the infinite intelligence within you, saying, "Father, this is what I want." Then state specifically and clearly the thing you desire. You are now turning your desire over to the God wisdom within you, which knows all, sees all, and has the know-how of accomplishment. You always know whether you have really turned your request over or not. If you are at peace about it, you have turned it over. If anxious and worried, you have not subjectified your prayer. You do not fully trust the God wisdom within. If you want guidance, claim infinite intelligence is guiding you now. It will differentiate itself as right action for you. You will know you have received the answer, for the dove of peace will whisper in your ear, "Peace is still." You will know the divine answer, for you will be at peace, and your decision will be right. A girl recently was wondering whether to accept a position in New York for considerable more money or remain in Los Angeles in her present position. At night as she went to sleep, she asked herself this question: what would be my reaction if I had made the right decision now? The answer came to her: I would feel wonderful. I would feel happy having made the right decision. Then she said, I will act as though I had made the right decision. And she began to say, "Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful?" over and over again as a lullaby, and lulled herself to sleep in the feeling, "It is wonderful." She had a dream that night, and the voice in the dream said, "Stand still, stand still." She awakened immediately, and knew of course that was the voice of the turtle dove, the voice of intuition. The fourth dimensional self within her can see ahead. It knows all and sees all. It can read the minds of the owners of the business in the East. She remained in her present position. Subsequent events proved the truth of her inner voice. The Eastern concern went into bankruptcy. "I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My beloved is mine, and I am his. He feedeth among the lilies." The lilies represent the poppies which grow in the East. To see the poppy fields sway in the breeze is a very beautiful sight. Here, the inspired biblical writer is telling you to have a romance with God. As you turn to the God presence, it turns to you. You experience the mystic marriage, the wedded bliss, when you fall madly in love with truth for truth's sake. Then you become full of the new wine, the new interpretation of life. The lilies symbolize beauty, order, symmetry, and proportion. As you feed or feast on the great truth that God is indescribable beauty, boundless love, absolute bliss, absolute harmony, and infinite peace, you are truly feeding among the lilies. When you claim that what is true of God is true of you, miracles will happen in your life. By realizing and knowing these qualities and attributes of God are being expressed through you, and that you are a channel for the divine, every atom of your being begins to dance to the rhythm of the eternal God. Beauty, order, harmony, and peace appear in your mind, body, and business world as you feed among the lilies. You feel your oneness with God, life, and God's infinite riches. You are married to your beloved, for you are now married to God. You are a bride of the Lord, I am. From this moment forward, you will bring forth children of your beloved. They will bear the image and likeness of their father and mother. The father is God's idea. The mother is the emotionalizing of the idea and its subjective embodiment. From that union of idea and feeling come forth your health, abundance, the happiness, and inner peace. Sit down and feed among the lilies by realizing that every night of the year when you go to sleep, you go before the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and the Prince of Peace. Be sure you are dressed properly as you enter into his holy presence. If you were going before the president, you would put on your best clothes. The clothes you wear as you enter into the heavens of your own mind every night represent the mood or the tone you wear. Be sure it is always the wedding garment of love, peace, and goodwill to all. Be absolutely sure that you can say, "Behold, thou art fair." There must be no resentment, ill will, condemnation of self or others, and no criticism of any person. God's love must really fill your heart for all men everywhere. You must sincerely wish for everyone what you wish for yourself. Then you can say to your mood or feeling, "Behold, thou art fair." And when you stand praying, forgive if ye have aught against any. I, my beloved, am mine. That entire God is yours, for God is within you. All you can possibly desire is already yours. You need no help from the outside to feed among the lilies. When you go to sleep tonight, forgive everyone and imagine and feel your desire is fulfilled. Become absolutely and completely indifferent to all thought of failure, because you now know the law. As you accept the end, you have, as so beautifully stated, willed the means to the realization of the end. As you are about to enter sleep, galvanize yourself into the feeling of being or having your desire. Your mental acceptance or your feeling as you go to sleep is the request you make of your beloved. Then she looks at your request, conviction in the subconscious mind, and being the absolute lover, she must give you what you asked. You feed among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. The shadows are fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, and all the reasons why you cannot do something. The shadows of our five senses and race belief hover over the minds of all as we pray. Prolonged worry robs you of vitality, enthusiasm, and energy, and leaves you a physical and mental wreck. Psychosomatic physicians point out that chronic worry is behind numerous diseases such as asthma, allergies, cardiac trouble, high blood pressure, and a host of other illnesses too numerous to mention. The worried mind is confused, divided, and is thinking aimlessly about a lot of things which are not true. Worry can be solved, however, by the application of the law of mind. Your problem is in your mind. You have a desire, the realization of which would solve your problem. But when you look at conditions and circumstances as they are, a negative thought comes to your mind, and your desire is in conflict with your fear. Your worry is your mind's acceptance of the negative conditions. Realize that your desire is the gift of God, telling you to rise higher in life, and that there is no power to challenge God, the living Spirit Almighty within you. Then affirm to yourself, God, cosmic wisdom, gave me this desire, and the almighty power is now backing me up, revealing to me the perfect plan for its unfoldment, and I rest in that conviction. When fear or worry thoughts come to your mind, remind yourself that God is bringing your desire, ideal, plan, or purpose to pass in divine order, and continue in this attitude of mind until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. When you pray, accept as true what your reason and five senses deny and reject. Remain faithful to your idea for being full of faith every step of the way. When your consciousness is fully qualified with the acceptance of your desire, all the fear will go away. Trust in the reality of your ideal or desire until you are filled full of the feeling of being it. Then the day will break and all shadows will flee away. Yes, the answer to your prayer will come and light up the heavens of your mind, bringing you peace. No matter what the problem is, how acute, dark, or hopeless things seem to be, turn now to God and say, "How is it in God and heaven?" The answer will softly steal over your mind like the dew from heaven. All is peace, joy, bliss, perfection, wholeness, harmony, and beauty. Then reject the evidence of your senses and feed among the lilies of God and heaven, such as peace, harmony, joy, and perfection. Realize what is true of God must be true of you and your surroundings. Continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. God's will for me, God opens for me the windows of heaven and pours me out a blessing. God's will must be godlike, for that is the nature of God. God's will for me, therefore, is health, goodness, harmony, and abundance. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. I am now enlightened by the truth. Each day I am growing in wisdom and understanding. I am a perfect channel for the works of God. I am free from all worry and confusion. Infinite intelligence within me is a lamp unto my feet. I know I am led to do the right thing, for it is God in action in all of my affairs. The peace that passed understanding fills my mind now. I believe and accept my ideal. I know it subsists in the infinite. I give it form and expression by my complete mental acceptance. I feel the reality of the fulfilled desire. The peace of God fills my soul. Abide in the silence, Jesus said. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I know and realize that God is a spirit moving within me. I know that God is a feeling or deep conviction of harmony, health, and peace within me. It is the movement of my own heart. The spirit or feeling of confidence and faith which now possesses me is the Spirit of God and the action of God on the waters of my mind. This is God. It is the creative power within me. I live, move, and have my being in the faith and confidence that goodness, truth, and beauty shall follow me all of the days of my life. This faith in God and all things good is omnipotent. It removes all barriers. I now close the door of the senses. I withdraw all attention from the world. I turn within to the One, the beautiful and the good. Here I dwell with my Father beyond time and space. Here I live, move, and dwell in the shadow of the Almighty. I am free from all fear, from the verdict of the world and his appearance of things. I now feel his presence, which is the feeling of the answered prayer or the presence of my good. I become that which I contemplate. I now feel that I am what I want to be. This feeling or awareness is the action of God in me. It is the creative power. I give thanks for the joy of the answered prayer, and I rest in the silence that it is done. To be, to do, and to have at the center of my being is peace. This is the peace of God. In this stillness I feel strength, guidance, and the love of His holy presence. I am divinely active. I am expressing the fullness of God along all lines. I am a channel for the divine, and I now release the imprisoned splendor that is within. I am divinely guided to my true expression in life. I am compensated in a wonderful way. I see God in everything and personified in all men everywhere. I know as I permit this river of peace to flow through my being, all of my problems are solved. The universal law of attraction irresistibly attracts all things I need to fully express myself on this plane to me. The way is revealed to me. I am full of joy and harmony.